Hi, welcome to Genealogy Source Citations Punctuation Guidelines. This video is titled More Basics, Part 2. My name is Lisa Stokes, and I'm so glad you've joined me to learn more about citation punctuation. This video covers more basic citation punctuation rules. We're going to go over commas, semicolons, colons, dashes, and numbers. Let's start with a comma. A comma separates elements within a citation section, and a comma resides inside quotation marks if present. Avoid commas between parentheses and the item that they clarify or restate. Semicolons are simple in a citation. A semicolon links related elements together to create a citation section. In other words, a semicolon separates each layer of a citation as needed. Next, we'll cover colons. A colon links a title and a subtitle. In this example, Finding Your Mexican Ancestors, colon, and then the subtitle, A Beginner's Guide. A colon also connects the publication place and the publisher. Here's an example. We have the place of publication is Baltimore, and then we have a colon and the publishing company's name. Remember to include that space after the colon. A colon also connects the volume and the issue date with the page number in a periodical. Here's an example. The APGQ 35, December 2020, 19 through 21. So this means volume 35, dated December 2020, and the pages are 19 through 21. When you have a colon to represent the volume and page number, you're going to omit the commas before and after the volume number. So here's our journal example. This article is in the American Historical Review. The 2 means the volume. October 1896 is the publication date. Then we have the colon and the page numbers of this article. Additionally, a colon can connect the volume and page number when referencing a book. In the example, this is a book title, Birth Records, 1873 to 1890, comma, and the 5 represents the volume. Then we have a colon and no space, and 236 represents the page number. When it might be unclear that you're referencing a volume or a page number, you can include the words volume and page when needed for clarity. These can also be abbreviated. Here's an example of a book volume with the volume and page written out. Here's the same example with abbreviations. Lastly, a colon appears between the URL and the access date with an extra space. Here's an example to show the extra space between the URL and the access date. So there's a space before and after the colon. When are hyphens needed? A hyphen links 2 words together in a citation or written narrative. Use a hyphen when addressing phrasal adjectives, evolving compound words, clarifications, and non-standard prefixes. Notice that hyphens are associated more with written word and not as much with numbers. So these are not common situations in citations, so I will cover these in detail in a later video about writing and grammar. But let's move on to dashes, which are very similar, and I want to show you the differences here. There are 2 types of dashes, an N dash and an M dash. And I've included a hyphen here so you can visually see the difference between all 3. And notice that an N dash is half the width of an M dash in most fonts. As for size, an N dash is the width of the letter N, and an M dash is the width of the letter M. Dashes are not found on most keyboards. So to include dashes, you'll need to learn your keyboard shortcuts. And you can also use the insert function in your software program. You can also include an N dash by typing 2 hyphens and then continuing to type, and it will automatically create an N dash for you. Using a Mac, you could click Edit and then Emoji and Symbols. You can also click Option plus hyphen for an N dash, or an M dash can be inserted by clicking Option Shift hyphen. Using the numeric keypad with Windows, you can create an N dash by typing Alt plus 0150 or M dash Alt plus 0151. When do you use an N dash instead of a hyphen? An N dash joins words or numbers in a sequential span. Spans such as year ranges, page ranges, volume ranges, month ranges, and a range within an alphabetical listing. An N dash can also represent an open-ended date range or number sequence. Last, an N dash replaces a hyphen with multiple words on either side of it. So we have Franklin Harris Family Reunion. Harris Family Reunion is more than one word, so we're going to replace it with an N dash. Same with Raleigh Durham International Airport, or when we have two names, James T. Roberts, N dash, Elizabeth Cook Bible Record. Each section of words on both sides have multiple words, so an N dash is used. Now let's go over an M dash. An M dash represents an unknown name when combined with a question mark and brackets. Here's a visual example of that. We don't know Susan's last name, so we use bracket, M dash, question mark, M dash bracket. If we don't know the first name, we would use the same convention. An M dash repeated 3 times replaces an author's name in consecutive source list citation. Here's an example of Christine Rose listed twice in a bibliography. Notice that these are source list citations, not regular reference note citations. So we have Christine Rose twice. She has 2 books on this list. The first time she's listed, we have her full name, and then the next time we just have the 3 M dashes together. Let's talk about Roman numerals. Roman numerals are replaced with Arabic numerals when citing volume numbers and publication dates. So write volume Roman numeral 8 as volume Arabic numeral 8 or abbreviated volume 8. There is one exception to this convention. Do not replace Roman numeral page numbers from a book preface. And be sure to italicize Roman numeral page numbers in a book preface. So here's an example of that. We have Val Greenwood's book, and we are citing something from the preface. And it is on page 13 of the preface, which is in italicized Roman numerals. A pound sign can replace the word number. Decide whether to use a space or not, and then be consistent. For example, you could do pound sign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or pound sign space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's an example to show some of these ideas. First, there's commas throughout the entire citation, separating each element and sub-element. I chose to write volume and page out, but a volume number colon page number is totally acceptable, as is using abbreviations. A semicolon ends the source information section of this citation, and then we move on to the access information. Notice no commas between family search and the opening parenthesis, and there's no comma between the film number and the DGS number within the parentheses. A colon connects the URL and the access date with an extra space right here. For my style guide, I've chosen to omit the space between a pound sign and the number. Here is my resource list that I use to verify all of these punctuation guidelines. You can also study these sources on your own to learn more details about punctuation guidelines. In Mastering Genealogical Documentation, Chapter 5 is excellent, as is Chapter 2 in Evidence Explained. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to learn more about genealogy source citations, please visit my website and my blog. And don't forget to subscribe and watch the other videos in this playlist. Links to my website and the other videos are in the notes below. See you again soon.